Hello there, my name is Josh from TechZone, and today I'm going to show you the Raspberry Pi's interface. Now, if you saw my first episode, I showed you the basic components of the Raspberry Pi. What I'm going to do is show you straight into what you've done when you've booted into it. I will show you a more advanced lesson later on how to set up the Raspberry Pi in the working, but this is just for people who have got in and they are quite unusual to this Raspberry Pi interface. The Raspberry Pi is based off Linux and Ubuntu. So if you do use Linux, you're instantly in that realm that you know Linux and you know this kind of layout. But for a Windows or Mac user, this might be a bit daunting. Though for Windows you might find it a little bit easier because some of the layouts I'll show you are a little bit the same. So you may see on the front, I've got all my tasks all jumbled up and everywhere. Don't worry about that, it's normally onto the left. I've just put it so the screen capture can show you. Right, the first thing I want to show you is the apps that it comes pre-installed. Exception for one, that is Chromium web browser. I installed that, and again, I'll show you that in a later episode. So the first one is the most important one that you're going to probably need to use. It's called LX Terminal. And what this does, it doesn't come up with two, it comes up with one, but I've just clicked it. This comes up with your root information. But because you're not in the root, you need to put in a specific code. For example, I'm going to write out nope. I'm a little bit of trouble because of the remote desktop, but this allows you to upgrade and update your system and your operating system right from the root system. So this is probably a bit of a tool that you need to know. Obviously, because I'm not very used to Linux, I've just gotten to it. I'm basically you're going to be learning as I'm learning, and as I go through, you will learn as well. So it's very crucial that you do know the LX terminal quite well, because if things do go wrong, that is the best way of learning tools and how to get used to the Linux-based Raspberry system. So next thing that you're probably going to be using is a web browser, except for Chromium, that is installed by me. Midori is the one that's like a third party that you come. Ignore. And it's quite a basic web browser. It comes pre-installed with something called DuckDuckGo. You can see, DuckDuckGo is more of a secure browser that allows you to search for things without Chrome and Google giving you answers. So normally when you use normally if you were to type in Facebook, it would come up with people's names that you already know because of your Google Plus account. This takes it out and strips it bare, so you get a more streamlined experience of the operating system. It's quite, when using it, it's quite slow, so if you're using the Raspberry Pi in the first place, don't expect it to be like your desktop PC. It won't be quite quick, but it works. The speed you'll get is probably the equivalent to a Windows XP machine, but as you can see, it's quite reactive. It might be a little bit quicker on your machine because I'm using a remote desktop client, which I'll show you later, to show this on my screen so I can screen capture it. As you can see, it doesn't come up with anything with your Google Plus account, and you get a more streamlined account. So if I was to name someone, I wouldn't get any information coming up. It would just be their name, or they might say on Facebook where you can find them. So that's the web browser. It comes pre-installed. Next thing, you do get a Python script manager, which is quite important to know because most people that use the Raspberry Pi are either students or people who tinker around, and they obviously know about Pi and Python lang script. This is where you can run and test programs, so it's quite a useful tool. This that's probably for more advanced users. So for a student, you've probably used Scratch before. It's the full system. Actually works quite well. I've used it a couple times to demonstrate some games to students, and I feel that it's a better way of using it than installing it on your computer, because it decides to run slow on my computer sometimes, and I'm using a 6-core machine. So using Scratch on a outsourced device is pretty well. Um, you also get a way of Wi-Fi config, but I'm using Ethernet LAN. But again, you get to use Wi-Fi if you have a little dongle. So nothing in this operating system is too unknown, and you're not going out there with no knowledge. So you will get pre-installed games with it using the Python script. You can also use the Pi Store. I wouldn't really use the Pi Store because you do get a lot of back script which wastes some Pi space, and considering normal people use only a 4 gig memory card, that would come to accumulate quite quickly with apps like Chromium if you were to buy that or install that from the Pi Store. So installing apps, I'll show you how, and you can find a huge community for Raspberry Pi. So I'll link that in the description, the raspberrypi.com or .org. Lastly, I want to show you the taskbar at the bottom. It's a bit cut off, but when you have peaks and troughs, you've got a CPU monitor here. You can't see the green line, but when I click on certain tasks, you will see it peak, and you get some resistance. In the start, just like a Windows system, you get the logout, which is also here shut down. You can also run programs through the LX terminal, so it's not a total new system. And I prefer using the start because you get to see a lot more. Gives you option. You also get Dilo. I don't know what, I haven't really used that, but you obviously get Midori and my Chromium here. Graphics, you can X PDF. That's good. Sonic Pi and educate. This is all based around education, so you do get a full list of education. You also get accessories, and you can also access the root terminal. So that's it, guys. If you like this video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. But if you're going to dislike it, please let me know why by showing a comment. If so, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment and subscribe for more Raspberry Pi tech, and check out my playlist. That's me, Josh from TechZone, signing out.